对，他过来。
这是在那个什么，那个上海中院，上海医院里面，就是有点像医院。
科莱其實它意大利發音應該是
Kelly，
係。
新亦都係最後一日嘅記者嚇點啊？
我係嗰個新記者㗎。
你嘅新記者哦。
第一日都係碰到嗰個標啦。
咩嗰個標打你？
真係喎。
咩第一日碰到我啊？
係啊！我第一日出街就係你啊！
第一出街就係我。
你講唔清楚，第一同標題自己出街。係啊，同標題自己。買後面嗰。
Hey Joseph, long time no see.
How do you do?
No, I speak Mandarin.
Well, that's
One or two words. Okay.
Sure,
I'm following
man.
Good
Yeah.
to see you. Hi.
James.
James.
Journal.
Oh, nice to see you. Yeah.
你好。
犀利。
We got all of our pictures here, and I haven't seen those yet, but that's why I was wondering.
Really?
I also have the photo. I got a police badge from the Jiangsu Provincial Public Security Bureau. They made me a member of the police force.
Yeah.
From Jiangsu. So.
I'm sorry. We are going to police, Jiangsu Police Department for recruiting or
No.
nothing to do with that.
Well, the public security, I'll explain that. I found out that the public security is in charge of giving exit visas for students and also they're involved in getting work permits to Canadians and foreigners that are there. So that's why I met with public security.
Okay.
Anyways, I'll say ni hao to everybody. And I want to say that Zhong Guo Fei Chang Hao. Does that understand it?
Yeah.
No problem.
I just, again, thank you for coming. I had a spectacularly interesting and valuable trip to China. I visited the capital city of Beijing. I also visited Nanjing, the old capital, and then I ended my trip in Shanghai. In each case, I was struck by the incredible energy in China, the incredible work ethic. Everybody was working all the time and seemed to be enjoying the work. And also the great enthusiasm for education everywhere I went. Because I visited Nanjing University, the Nanjing Institute of Technology, visited an elementary school in Shanghai, met with educators, and there's a great importance placed on education at all levels. And the other thing is the incredible warm welcome I had from the people of China, from the officials, whether it be the officials who were from the city of Beijing, with public security in Beijing, foreign affairs I met with in Beijing also, of the People's Republic of China. And I met with the Jiangsu Vice Governor, who was very hospitable. And as you know, Jiangsu is our sister province, and we will be welcoming a Jiangsu delegation later on in October to sign the Memorandum of Understanding between Ontario and Jiangsu on education, on technology, and on automobile parts manufacturing. So that was confirmed on my trip that they will be coming, and we will be hosting them later on in October. And then in Shanghai, I met with the Shanghai municipal officials, and they were also very helpful and informative in my stay in Shanghai. And I should say that I was also well received by our Canadian embassy officials. I met the Canadian ambassador in Beijing, and he was most gracious. And I also met Canadian immigration and consular officials in Beijing. And they brought me through the whole system that they have in place in Beijing. They have about 800 to 1,000 people a day apply for information or for visas into Canada. And I went through the whole process with the officials and discussed many issues with the Canadian consular officials in Beijing. And I also met with the Consul General, or the Consul General of Shanghai, who was there just 3 weeks. And she was very hospitable, and she had just started her duties, and we had a very good meeting with her. And just to say that, just trying to get her name, sorry, it just escaped me for a minute. But it was the Consul General for Shanghai. The Canadian government was very hospitable. And I found out her husband was Italian, by the way, who was a professor of Chinese history. They had both met in Shanghai back in the 1970s, and now she's been posted as the Consul General of Shanghai. The husband's name was Mr. Eugenio Celli, and he spoke Chinese, Mandarin plus Italian, so it was very nice to be there too.
So not reading your writing.
But anyways, wherever I went, I received a lot of information about the system of exit and entry into China from the officials, from the public security officials, foreign affairs officials. I received very good, valuable information from our own consular officials and immigration officials. And I also, as I said, had very good information about the great desire on behalf of Chinese universities to have more exchanges with Ontario universities and colleges. I know Nanjing University has a relationship with Waterloo University, and they're interested in maybe having another one with University of Toronto. The Nanjing Institute of Technology has a very unique new campus right in the middle of a lake, with a lake in the middle of their campus, very impressive. And they even have a plant that they run, a manufacturing plant of auto parts they run as part of the Institute of Technology in Nanjing. Also, the people that I ran into, we did a lot of walking, and we went to a lot of historic places, and I was very glad to have made it to the Great Wall and walked on the Great Wall, one of the true great wonders of the world, and I was very excited about that, and very frightened by the cable car ride up to the top there. We went to Badaling, the Badaling gate at the Great Wall. We also went through the mausoleum where Chairman Mao is buried, and did a walk through there, and also visited and walked through the Forbidden City. The most interesting. I also had a very unique visit in Shanghai, where we visited the Jewish synagogue that still remains in Shanghai, and that is very important for Ontario because there are many Ontario artists that have contributed their works to that synagogue, and is now a museum. In fact, 3 people that I knew personally had works of art there. Mr. Al Green, Mr. Godeker had a piece of work, and also the Leventhal, father and son. One of my doctors actually has a painting in the museum at the Halai Maosh synagogue in downtown Shanghai. And as you know, I was visited there because I think the museum in Shanghai represented an amazing refuge for Jewish refugees that found refuge in Shanghai during the 30s. And they were given refuge from the Nazis there, and many of them have families and friends that live here in Ontario now, so that's why I visited the museum in Shanghai, because I've heard so much about it, and it's a very unique and special place in the middle of Shanghai. The Hengqiang district, not too far from the middle of Shanghai. And as you know, I brought with me a print of Dr. Norman Bethune. If I could just maybe get that. Because wherever I went, all I had to do is mention that Dr. Norman Bethune was a resident of Ontario, and that all brought a smile to everyone's face. And I use this as an example of the real partnership and connection that the people of Ontario have with China. And they were remarkably taken by that reference to Dr. Bethune and the fact that he had come from Gravenhurst in Ontario. And a number of Chinese officials I met had actually been to Gravenhurst. So that's why I thought it was appropriate that, as you know, the Premier had this made for his visit to China, and he brought it with him, and I'm going to get more of these made because I think it demonstrates a special relationship that China has with Ontario. And the other special person is that television radio personality, Dashan. Everybody knows Dashan. And he's the other one that yes, that everybody knows. But anyways, Dr. Bethune and Dashan were the two stars there. Quite a combination. But anyhow, I do want to say that in my pictures here, I'll just. By the way, this was given to me. You may. I know this is the great mythological figure that wards off demons, right?
That's right.
So it's very important to have. And this was given to me by actually an Ontario citizen who is working in Shanghai, Charlie Wang. And Charlie is a very famous interior designer in Shanghai. He's doing many hotels. He did the interior design of the Ruby Tower. The Pearl Tower, excuse me, the Pearl Tower, and wherever I went, especially in Shanghai, there was all kinds of people that had relatives or had been in Toronto or went to U of T, and so Charlie kindly gave me this to bring home to ward off the demons. And I should mention that this is the Vice Governor of Jiangsu. I think she's the youngest, one of the youngest vice governors in many of the Chinese provinces, and she was very happy to receive us and extremely pleased that we have this partnership and MOU with Jiangsu, which is more than a twinning. It's an actual. We're going to be setting up a Jiangsu Ontario Business Council. So when they come in October, that'll be the formal signing of the agreement of the Business Council between Jiangsu and Ontario. And the executive vice governor is coming with that delegation. This is a group of ex-Torontonians, Ontario people that are doing very well in Shanghai. That's Charlie Wang, who's the great designer. This is Yijan, the representative of Ontario in Shanghai. This young man and his wife were both educated in Toronto, but are now in the middle of building a new peninsula hotel right on the river in Shanghai. It's going to be a almost $1 billion project. And this is his partner, Scholes Tzu, I think his name is. And the two of them are putting together this mega deal. They're both Ontario-based. And very young and very energetic. And these are other officials and friends that are here. I should mention this is another group of Ontario students that are in Beijing. They run a leadership school with Free the Children in Beijing. And they're all over the world. This is Mark and Craig Hilberg's group. And so this is at a very elite high school outside of Beijing.
Western Academy.
Western Academy. It's a very impressive school. And this is the principal. Also, another very impressive school was a school I visited in Beijing, where this was a class of about 30 students that all were learning English. They were about the grade 10 level, and it had a beautiful campus right in the middle of Beijing with athletic courts and very high. It's one of the top 2 or 3 high schools in Beijing.
北京大学师范那个附中实验，
北京师大附中，
北京师大附中，是实验中学。
Anyways, they spoke and asked very good questions in English, and it was and the principal was very, very impressive. I guess this is at the Nanjing Technological Institute, where, as I said, an interesting system they have there is they had the institute, but outside the institute they actually operated a factory, a manufacturing plant. So the students can go there and also manufacture. Again, state-of-the-art, totally modern, and this was the general manager of the plant. And this is, again, Philip Wong, who's also a representative in Shanghai, and he's taking over from Yijian in the near future. And remind me, Sophie, so I got this right, this is the president of the university? Oh yes, in Shanghai. Yes, we had a meeting with the public securities director in Shanghai. Okay. And I guess this is in the Forbidden City?
No, Shanghai Yuan. It's in Shanghai.
Oh yes, yes. The you know the famous restaurants with the dumplings, the pork and crab dumplings from Shanghai. I had to have that. So I thought I was in the Forbidden City for a while. And again, this is the class that we visited. It's a grade 3 class where they're doing an experimental English program where the children start learning English as early as grade 1, as opposed to the normal grade 5. And this is where the teacher was a Canadian from Welland, Ontario, very enthusiastic. The children were just, they were having so much fun in learning English and answering questions. So those are just sort of an idea of some of the things I did and some of the incredible work of art that I was given by the officials there. Just beautiful. I visited the Brocade Museum in Nanjing, where they make the handmade silk, and that's where I purchased that tie and this tie. And I saw them making the actual work there. They still have 4 operating looms that are still going. And incredible detail and beauty wherever I went. So those are the highlights. Just in conclusion, I want to say that the goal of my mission was to let the Chinese officials know that we want to increase cooperation and communication between the government of the People's Republic of China and Ontario. We want to welcome continued immigration, continued exchange of students. We want to facilitate the immigration of students who want to come under visas or immigration if they choose. We want to see it continue, and we want to also ensure that there's a better flow of information between Canadian and Ontario authorities and the Chinese authorities or the Shanghai or Beijing authorities. So that's why meeting face-to-face, I think, established a very clear message that we wanted to cooperate and expand our partnership so we can make things easier for students who want to travel or for tourists who want to travel or business that wants to come to Ontario. And again, I also met with a round table of business people who are looking at investing in Ontario. And these are people that had everything from the desire to buy a copper mine in Ontario, to establishing a copper tubing plant, to a tire recycling plant, and also a graphic design plant. Because it seems the Chinese are now interested some of their companies are now want to get into the North American market, and they see Ontario as critically located right in the middle of Central America, Central North America, so they could also feed into the North American market in the United States. So there's a great, I think, partnership with Ontario that's obviously underway with Jiangsu. There's great opportunities for more educational partnerships, business partnerships, because there is a very strong bond between China and Canada and Ontario. Wherever I went, people had nothing but respect for Canada, nothing but respect for Ontario, and many of them had very deep fondness for Ontario and Canada, and were very, as I said, hospitable and welcoming me. And I've never seen such good service in hotels or restaurants in my life. In some cases, I didn't go with an official party. I went just a couple friends. We just went quietly. Again, the level of service and attention to detail was remarkable by all staff wherever we went, hotels, restaurants, in the museums. It was amazing attention to service and appreciation of the visit. Again, in conclusion, I will say that it was an exciting trip. It was a very worthwhile trip, and I learned a great deal, and I think the Chinese officials really got a strong message that Ontario welcomes broader relationships with the people of China and with the various organizations in China, especially the educational ones, to do even more partnering between Ontario and the Chinese government, and also the province of Jiangsu especially, which is our sister province, and also with the incredible, literally unbelievable city of Shanghai, which is almost too much for words.
Before we open it
The
up
officials would always say, yes, we got a phone call and a fax from the Consul General in Toronto, Madam Chen Xiaoling, saying, take special care of this Canadian visitor. So she really opened the doors, and I want to thank the Consul General, really, because she really went out of her way to ensure that we had very valuable time with important officials, and I really want to thank you, Consul General, and please pass my thanks on to her for the special effort that she took. And believe me, they were very attentive, and they all said, yes, we got the call. Thank you very much. Anyway, Xixi.
Do you want me to say a few words?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah, first of all, I'd like to say, Madam Chen, Consul General could not come today, and that's why he entrusted me to come here and to speak a few words, because when we know his Honorable Minister Colle will be having this press conference, and so I do like to come, and now I'm here. I would like to congratulate Minister Colle successful and fruitful visit to China, and he witnessed the changes, the development, as well. He felt development as well, and wherever he went, he saw the changes, the booming, and the thriving, and the people's friendly atmosphere. I also like to echo Minister Colle said, what Minister Colle said about Dr. Norman Bethune. I would say that more Chinese people know about Norman Bethune than Canadian. I would say, particularly in the people, I mean, because the population, 1.3 billion people there, and so, yeah, and when he also said that Dr. Norman Bethune is a house-known name in China, and some people even, schoolgirl just went to China visit, mentioned Dr. Bethune, they say it's the passport for it. You can see the friendly feelings between the Chinese people and the Canadian people, because that was what China needed most. That was the Second World War, when China was invaded and by the Japanese aggressors, and we were fighting hard against the Japanese aggressors in those days. yeah, of course, Canada was fighting against the fascists in those days. So we were in the same ditch fighting against the wars in the Second World War. Yeah. So that's all I want to say. And I also like to say that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the People's Republic of China also met Minister Colle, and I do believe they had good talks and fruitful talks there. And as Minister mentioned about his visit in Beijing, in Shanghai, particularly in Jiangsu, the twinning between the two provinces, Ontario and Jiangsu, is bearing fruit. It's because from Governor McGanty's visit, from Premier McGanty's visit, as well as governors or deputy governors of Jiangsu province visit. I mean, this high-level visit at two provincial levels, and their exchanges lay the tone and foundation for the development between the two provinces. And particularly since last year, when the visit between the two provinces increases, and so as well as it was Minister Colle's visit, and that put concrete action and substance to the development of the relations. And as Minister mentioned about the MOU was in next October, we'll have the executive policy governor from Jiangsu to visit here. And so that will have the more substantial stuff into the relations. And also, Minister mentioned about the Great Wall. I'm glad you went there. Yeah, it's one of the 7 wonders there. And the other day talking about China and Canada or about Ontario, talking about the Great Wall, I mentioned this, it goes like this. I made this was a verse, say, China has the Great Wall, Canada has Niagara Falls.
They all know Niagara Falls.
Yeah. The wall winds up and down, the fall rolls on and on. Natural wonder, we care. Human civilization, we share. So I would say that we can see we have these natural wonders, and also the geographically, one is in the Western Hemisphere, one is in the Eastern Hemisphere, but we are very close. And I do believe our relations will grow stronger and stronger, and particularly with Ontario and the Jiangsu province. Thank you.
Well, as you know, Jiangsu and Ontario have had a relationship, a sister relationship since 1985. And the Premier, when he went in last November, he reaffirmed the Memorandum of Understanding. And one of the terms of that memorandum was to establish a Jiangsu-Ontario Business Council. And that Business Council will have representatives from the province of Jiangsu and representatives of various ministries in Ontario. And that Business Council will attempt to foster and encourage increase investment in both provinces and exchanges of investment and expertise in the areas of automobile parts, education, and science and technology. And that is, again, a very concrete agreement that's been signed, and I think it will bear a great deal of fruit, because I was really struck by the immense awareness of Ontario's relationship with Jiangsu when I was there, and the enthusiasm the executive or the vice governor had about this agreement. They are really looking forward to fulfilling this MOU.
When we talk about the 3 areas, we talk about Niagara, where now lack of tourists come from.
The statistic is that Chinese tourism to Ontario has increased by 20% this year over last. So there's great potential for Chinese tourism in Ontario, and I think that the Minister of Tourism, Jim Bradley, in fact, was there before me earlier this year for the same reason, to encourage more tourism from China to come to Ontario, because as we know globally, because of the improved economy in China and the growing middle class. There's a great deal of opportunity for Chinese tourism, and Ontario wants to welcome increased Chinese tourism, and we're still waiting for Canada's asked for the special designation. But in spite of the fact we don't have that special designation, we've seen, again, a 20% increase. And I think that's going to continue to grow in the months to come, especially for Ontario. One of the things we're doing is we have now launched a international website portal called OntarioImmigration.ca. So the potential immigrants from China who want to come to Ontario will have all the information on qualifications, educational requirements, labor market, all the things they need even before they come, and also indicating to them the need to study English at a certain level and the programs that are available to study English. So that is one big change, is we're really emphasizing, and that's one of the reasons I went there, is to ask the potential immigrants and ask also the Chinese authorities and also the Canadian authorities to let the immigrants that are thinking of coming to Ontario to access the internet to understand the different labor market needs and educational credentials needs before they even come. So they'll know in advance what the situation is here.
So what about heat rate?
What about?
The heat rate, the access rate.
Well, we told them that we are doing our legislation. We have this new legislation, Bill 124, which is going to hopefully, if passed, open up access to the professions more. And we also told them that we want to work together. In some cases, there's a potential to set up university courses, like the Rotman School of Business is in Shanghai. There's also Algonquin College that has courses in Shanghai and Nanjing. We want to see the potential of maybe simulating some of the requirements even before they come to Ontario, that they might get the equivalency of a degree in China. So when they come here as immigrants, they might have an already Ontario degree. So there's no reason why an employer or a professional body would not look upon that more favorably if they already have that even before they come. The ministry, Foreign Service Ministry in Beijing, I made that request as Minister Bradley made and Premier McGuinty made. We would like to get that.
So what is the obstacles now?
Well, it's negotiation between the two governments, Ottawa and the People's Republic of China. They're in negotiation on it, and it's in the hands of the two senior governments about the designation. But the other thing I learned though is, despite the fact we don't have that, it hasn't stopped a massive increase of Chinese tourism to Ontario. So we're already, even despite the designation.
But Canada is now far behind lots of foreign countries that we don't have the special designated status. So
Well, we would love to get it. That's why Ontario would, but again, it has to be two people agreeing, two governments agreeing. Right now, because in any international, I guess, agreements of this sort, there are many other factors that I really am not privy to. All I know is there's good discussions taking place, and we certainly have said to Ontario, to the Foreign Affairs Ministry in Beijing, we said to the people in Shanghai, the exit people in charge of giving exit visas for tourists or for students, we said, please, whatever we can do to facilitate more travel to Ontario, we're willing to help you on our side.
So do you
encouraging Chinese students to come? And the Ontario government would want to support that increased exchange of Chinese students, because they're very good students and they really feel at home. The only thing I found a bit ironic was some of the parents now don't want their children to come to Toronto because they say there's too many Chinese-speaking people here. So they want their children to go to Belleville, Kingston, Trenton, smaller communities where they will potentially learn English faster, because if they come to Toronto, there's television, radio, newspapers, and all their friends are all in Mandarin. So they're saying there's too many Chinese people in Toronto. I'm not going to want to go to somewhere else. They're looking, and there's quite a network of educational institutions in China. that are very present in all the major cities, it seems, and that are marketing Ontario. And Ontario seems to be one of the favorite places that the students want to come to. And they know our universities. They know Queen's, they know McMaster, they know Waterloo, U of T. I should mention before I forget, I was really struck when I was in Nanjing University. I don't know if you've heard of this artist, Mr. Wu Wei-shan. He's a young Chinese artist in Nanjing University, and one of the buildings in Nanjing University allows him to put all his works of art and sculpture in the front building of the university. And I mean, it's amazing, and he's only, I think, 40 years of age. He's one of the most famous young sculptors in all of China. Again, Mr. Wu Wei-shan, and he's a professor at the university, and excellent work. I said to the president of the university, I would love to have him come and do a show here in Toronto. We just have some of it. We were just inside. This is the executive director. This is his studio we were in. But anyways, he has full-size sculptures. They're just magnificent work. And then right in the middle of Nanjing, as you know, Nanjing is like U of T. It's an older university right in the middle. Very beautiful university. And they, again, have a very strong relationship with Waterloo, but they would also like to extend that to maybe other universities.
Any other questions?
Minister?
Well, you know, that's one of the reasons why I went right into the embassy in Beijing, because I wanted to find out what the obstacles were, or the delays, what the problems were. I know they said that most visas, visitors' visas, they have about a 75% acceptance rate. In Shanghai, it's 85%. It's a little different, I guess, more business visas in Shanghai. And I was trying to encourage them to find ways that Ontario might be able to help to expedite the granting of visas, especially for business or student visas, that we would like to cooperate with the ministry officials at the Immigration Canada to do that. The backlog, as you know, is international. Almost every country has a huge backlog, and for us in Ontario, we would love to see more unification and family unification, because it's really an important ingredient in family harmony, and because we not only want student or business immigration, we also want to see families reunited. So we are saying that to the federal government, and but again, I think the critical thing that we want to see happen is that we want to see more dialogue, and like I told the Chinese officials wherever I went, I said, if you have something that you think we might be able to help with, there's a problem, please contact either Immigration Canada or ourselves, and we could maybe make that intervention to smooth out some of the obstacles, because we said we really value the flow of immigrants to Ontario, that we want to see it grow and continue. And we said if there are problems, please let's work on the solutions together, and they're very open to that. And plus, many Canadians and Ontarians are there that need temporary work visas, and they said, generally speaking, they've had nothing but success in granting work visas to Canadians that are there, and especially in Shanghai, that are working in Shanghai and Beijing. And they're all very excited about the Olympics. And I was very impressed by the fact they're doing 2 new terminals in Beijing for the airport, another 2 terminals in Shanghai. I think they're doing 4 new subways in Shanghai, another 2 subways in Nanjing, and we can't get to York University. So anyways, I think there's great energy there, great enthusiasm. And I was really struck by wherever you went, people were very busy and happy and having fun. I walked along the river in, what's the name of the river in Shanghai?
The Bund?
The Bund area, and just people, again, all smiles on their faces, really enjoying the summer evening along that beautiful part of Shanghai. Very impressed with the Bund area and all the glitter, and it looks, again, like something I've never seen before. Plus, again, I think I enjoyed old China a bit more, but it is still very impressive. it was a great honor and privilege, and I want to thank the Consul General in his office for really making me feel welcome wherever I went. And I think I've never seen such variety of cuisine and excellence of cuisine. And I never had rice or noodles, never. It was always a different dish every time by the hundreds. So I told them it was a cuisine of 35,000 dishes. I've never seen so many beautiful dishes. And every little dish of food was a work of art. No noodles, no rice though. And Chinese wine, I met a gentleman who's now going to import the Great Wall wine into Canada through the LCBO. He's trying to be a gentleman from Hamilton. So the first time I've ever tasted Chinese wine, which is very good. So anyways, it was a wonderful trip, enjoyable, very educational, and very fruitful. And I hope it really builds a stronger bridge between Ontario and China, and to show that Ontario really cares about immigrants that come from China. We want to do whatever we can to make things better for them here, and also let them know that there is information for them to have even before they come in China. Xi xi.
How many kilos?